It's the sound we all associate with cats, and luckily, it's also the easiest cat noise for humans to copy. But did you know there are actually several good reasons why, as odd as it may seem, you should meow back at your cat? Plus, there are other sounds we can make to communicate with our feline friends in a language they understand. In this video, we're going to explore the fascinating world of meowing, uncovering the reasons behind it and how we can use it to talk to our cats. Does my cat understand me when I meow? Sadly, the answer is no. Unlike humans, cats don't have a language system with specific words. Instead, they use a range of sounds that have broad, generalized meanings, and the true intent behind each sound depends heavily on the context. For example, when a cat hisses, it's basically saying, "I'm angry." But if that hissing happens while they're guarding their territory, it means, "I'm angry because I want you out of my space." So, when you try to meow at your cat, they don't understand what you're trying to say, because they can't connect it to a familiar context. Moreover, most humans aren't usually great at mimicking a cat's meow in a way that would fool a real cat. Even if your meow sounds convincing to you, to your cat, it probably just sounds like more human babble that doesn't make much sense to them. So, why do cats meow back? Ever found yourself in a meowing match with your cat? They meow, you meow back, and it goes on like a conversation. It's easy to think you're actually communicating with your cat, but what's really happening is a bit different. Cats will often engage in this kind of call and response even when humans are simply talking normally. It's not so much about your cat trying to have a chat with you, but more about them enjoying your presence and wanting to interact. Think of it as a playful game the two of you are sharing. While it may not be an actual conversation, it's still a special way to connect and bond with your furry friend. Why does your cat meow when they see you? You might be surprised to learn that adult cats don't meow at each other very often. Most of their communication is done through body language or quieter sounds, some of which humans can't even hear. So why do we strongly associate meowing with cats? Well, there is one situation where a cat will meow at another, when a kitten is trying to get the attention of its mama or litter mates. Kittens aren't yet skilled in the subtle ways adult cats communicate, so they rely on meowing to express their needs, just like human babies cry. As cats grow older, they learn that humans don't understand or notice most of their subtle signals. Meowing becomes one of the few ways they can clearly communicate with us, so they do it more often. In essence, your cat is talking to you in baby talk, because that's what works best to get your attention. Does baby talk affect cats? Yes. Research from Lund University shows that cats are more likely to respond to baby talk than to a normal speaking voice. This isn't because they understand they're being treated like a baby, but rather because they find higher-pitched sounds easier to hear. Most people naturally raise their pitch when using baby talk, which makes it more noticeable to cats. What more sounds can I use to grab my cat's attention? Quick, high-pitched sounds are likely to grab a cat's attention. The puss-puss noise, for example, is so effective that many languages have a word for cat that includes some combination of P and S sounds. However, not all cats are fans. For some, the repeated S sound might resemble hissing, which they associate with aggression. Another way to catch your cat's attention is by sucking your bottom lip against your teeth and then quickly releasing it. With some practice, this creates a short, high-pitched squeak that sounds like the distress call of a small animal. This kind of noise is what cats are naturally tuned to hear, making it almost certain to get their attention. Is meowing common to all cats? All domestic cats meow, but some are certainly more chattier than others. Breeds like the Siamese, Burmese, and Japanese bobtail are known for being particularly chatty. The Siamese and Burmese, which are part of the Oriental breed category, are especially famous for their deep, resonant meows that can sometimes sound surprisingly human. They belong to a group known as lesser cats, though we would argue there's nothing lesser about them at all. These lesser cats have the unique ability to both meow and purr, unlike their larger relatives, the big cats like lions and tigers, who don't meow and purr in the same way. While big cats might manage a kind of growling imitation of purring, they can't perform the lesser cat trick of purring on both the inhale and exhale. Why can't you sleep through a cat's meows? This is one of those rare occasions when your cat's cute little voice isn't so delightful. When your cat wakes up before you and decides that it's time for breakfast, some cuddles, or a bit of playtime, they can easily rouse the whole house with their constant meowing. That sharp, high-pitched sound can slice through the early morning silence, making it nearly impossible to roll over and go back to sleep. Why is this? It's because your cat is tapping into your most basic instincts. Their cries are at a frequency similar to a human baby's cry, something our brains are hardwired to pick up on and not ignore. So, like it or not, you're being forced to wake up and serve that kibble. What does my cat think when they hear other cats meowing? If your cat hears a meow from another device, like a phone or laptop, they might not pay much attention, especially if there's other background noise mixed in. However, if you play a recording of a cat meowing with no other sounds around and the volume turned up, your cat might become more interested. Some cats will ignore it, but others might get anxious and start searching for the mysterious ghost cats they believe have invaded their space. While it might seem funny to prank your cat this way, it's not something you should do too often. Your cat probably doesn't enjoy it as much as you do. Why does my cat meow in a strange way? Adult cats rarely meow at each other, but one of the few situations where an adult cat will meow at another cat is when they're trying to get attention. For example, a cat might cry out if they're seriously injured or scared, signaling for help or warning others. Female cats in heat and male cats who catch their scent also meow differently, calling out to announce they're ready to find a mate. These meows often sound different from the ones directed at us. A yowl, which cats make when distressed, is usually lower and longer than a regular meow. A caterwaul, the sound a female cat in heat makes to attract males. And the male's response is even deeper and louder. This noise can be alarming to cat owners, as it often sounds like the cat is in pain. Can cats actually learn to speak like humans? You might have seen those videos online where cats seem to say things like hello or feed me. It's easy to get excited and wonder if our feline friends might be on their way to learning how to talk like us. The answer is no, but it's not that simple. While the clips you see on platforms like YouTube and TikTok are real, the truth is that cats don't understand the words they're supposedly saying. Cats sometimes produce sounds that, to our ears, might resemble human words, but it's not because they're trying to communicate like we do. It's more like a parrot mimicking sounds without understanding their meaning. Cats are smart, and they might notice that making certain noises gets them more attention, so they might repeat them, but that's about as far as it goes. Cats have their own way of communicating, using a variety of vocalizations like meows, purrs, and hisses to express themselves. They're not developing language in the way humans do, but their communication methods are still fascinating and worth paying attention to. So while it's fun to imagine your cat talking back to you, they're not quite ready to hold a conversation. Did you know that cats have a unique way of communicating with us when they've done something wrong? If you want to learn more about their funny apology signs, check out this video right here. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.